This is Jonah Hill, and you're listening to the only podcast that matters.
Bro gang, you're joined by the Governor Gatherings, Warren Schlossman, and myself, the Emirate of Events, James Harris. Welcome to the weekly running of the boys with today's full episode only available on patreon.com/longfits. Lawrence, how has your New York Fashion Week been?
My brain doesn't feel like it exists.
It's on sicko mode. All right. Before we get into Astro World Fallout, fake New York Fashion Week. Damn it, I fucking fucked up already. And Whiskey Dick. Let's get into a fit check.
Why don't you lead us off, bro?
All right. Upstairs, I was wearing our Lagache pony hair cami on mules.
Yeah.
Manresa socks. Shout out Manresa Manufacturing. Tory Van Thompson Dickies, which after this month, full on month of decadence and not working out, definitely a little tight.
It's funny you mentioned that because I got a little hack on these vintage jeans that solves that problem. But
you undo the button and then keep the belt buckle?
I'll talk about my moment of fat guy genius, or a great moment of fat guy genius when it's time. But I feel you, dude. I've been a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Since even before we went to Italy.
Well, Italy was 10 days of just
no
absurd meals, no vegetables, zero vegetables. And then I stayed a little longer. Straight to Thanksgiving, which is gluttony.
Yeah.
Straight into, we'll talk about this, but it's just been the busiest social calendar in definitely at least 2 years.
I hate it, bro.
All right, I got Fantasy Explosion, New York City tee on. Yo, I love this back graphic. Let me turn around for the fucking...
Oh, yeah, that's really good. It's like a pixelated. It's pixelated Statue of Liberty in that good blue.
Before I got my New York tattoo here, when I was a kid, I was like, damn, I kind of want a outline of the Statue of Liberty on my ribs.
That'll go.
Glad I didn't get that.
That'll go real well with your UFC career, dude. Jesus Christ. Wait, you didn't want to wear your embroidery? I thought
no.
You don't want to tell everyone about the swastika embroidery business you had going?
Well,
do you ever watch Reno 911?
I used to.
Do you remember the episode?
There's a movie coming out.
There's there is,
where they're on a Q cruise ship.
Oh, that's incredible. Are they as cops on the cruise
I don't know.
ship,
I'm sure they're undercover or whatever.
There's this great early episode where, do you remember the character Big Mike? He's just like a ratchet, hillbilly type guy.
Okay.
But he's having a yard sale, and the cops get called because he's selling a giant Nazi flag. And then the solution to them ultimately getting him to take it down is they have to buy it from the yard sale. So he goes, and the cops bought a Nazi flag today. That's what I just thought about with your embroidery. So the embroidery business. What happened?
I had a little DIY moment where
Etsy head ass motherfucker.
Yeah, where it started out where I would just this was my fucking Virgil shit, man. I would take an image and put it on a t-shirt. I don't know when this was, but the first one I did, it might have been early Complex days, or it might have been when you were at Complex, but I wasn't there just yet. And I put Raph Simmons, his last show at Jill Sander or Dior.
That was Dior,
where he's giving the heart
right
to his fucking besties. You can put that on the Zood board.
Yep.
Slapped that on a shirt. Everyone wanted it, and everyone's like, "Yo, sell these." I did Rick Owens,
the lifting shirt,
fucking lifting,
which was
curl,
which was Rick approved.
Rick has approved it. Shout out Chris Wallace. Thank you for
you did the Rick. We've talked about this, but we've talked about.
I should send one to Tyrone Sussman.
Yeah, you should. The Sussman himself. We've talked a lot about, because you did the I Feel Like Shit shirt at the height of the Pablo craze.
Yeah, I should have fucking
wait. So you were hand embroidering shirts?
Yeah, I forget,
because these are all screen printed things we've just mentioned.
This is before. What's the one? There's brands now that they'll take the Nike swoosh and they'll put flowers on it. And shit.
Yeah.
But there's one big one that they actually I think got a sneaker collab.
Yeah,
with Nike.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but it's a vibe.
So I got a little embroidery kit off Etsy, I believe, or Amazon. And I made 2 shirts.
Okay.
One of them.
Let's go through.
One of them just says "All my friends are dead," on the titty
for the EXO Tour Life.
Yeah. So what was that? 2016?
I don't remember.
Whatever. And
it looks so bad.
Yeah, it's been through the fucking wash a million times. It's just a bumming around the house.
No, but I just mean the wash wouldn't affect your penmanship, whatever the term is. Of
but it's intentionally bad. I'm on my Jim Joe shit.
You don't have the technology or the steady hand to pull this off.
I'm not trying to make like perfect fucking Helvetica letter typing. You know,
this seems like a very convenient excuse. You're on
well,
Jim Joe shit. Okay.
Then because I was freehanding it, unfortunately, I tried to do in 2016. There was a just a graphic like people posted where it was like 45, but it was like tilted. So it looked like a swastika with a verboten sign around it.
Yeah.
And,
very much from the NOAA School of Graphic Design.
I tried to make one of those, but it ended up just looking like a fucking swastika. Just a black and red swastika. So that
James bore a Nazi tea today.
I had to unpick that real quick. Outside I had the Barracuda needles.
So fire.
Paisley jacket.
I feel like people slept on that. It's also like 900.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Thank you, Chris Corrado, for actually giving that.
That's like the best flex, like to see the homie in the showroom and just be like, oh yeah, do you want, and him being like, you want these samples? And it's like, yes.
So
please.
I didn't really see this collaboration. This is a fairly recent.
You know why?
Right?
Real quick, Needles is so bad with social media, bro.
Yeah.
Nepenthes, all of the brands, like having an Instagram for every store, but like not having then a centralized Instagram for the brand. You know,
that's why you have South to West State posting like new EG.
Yeah.
And like Needles posting South like AIE.
I think we've talked about this once before, but it definitely seems like this. It's a Japanese, almost specific way of social media management that's like very different than what, you know, American brands or even European brands do.
This is kind of crazy, and I'm sure that people are going to be like, oh, you're wrong. But like web aesthetic in Japan is a lot more, you would think it's like fucking cutting edge, like, you know, web, whatever, like beyond aesthetically,
the metaverse, dude.
Aesthetically way beyond like what we have going on here. But it's actually kind of like janky and old fashioned.
Yeah. Is that, do you think that's a deliberate choice, or is that like just a weird holdover
probably
from an older?
Definitely in the like if I'm in, when I'm in Japan and I'm like trying to like figure out, well, now you just look it up on Google, but it was like always really hard to find out if a store is open.
Yeah.
Or like what their hours were. And they kind of made it so that you had to like actually go to the store.
Right.
Which in some ways,
which
is
I
like
get.
good.
I get that. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so like their shit is not centralized. It's like the South to West State Sapporo official.
Yeah, exactly.
The fucking New York Nepenthes was run off a Tumblr for the longest time up until somewhat recently.
Yeah.
So you'd be like shopping off a Tumblr,
off Tumblr. Yeah. Well, you can't even like buy. You couldn't buy anything. It was like you had to call.
Copping pockets off the Tumblr store.
Yeah.
Where were we? Oh yeah, Barracuda needles. So I saw it and I forwarded to Chris Corrado, who reps Barracuda, and I was like, yo, let me get one. He's like, I got you. And that was like months ago or a few weeks ago.
You never got it.
And then we went to the office this past Monday, and I was like, oh, is this for me? He's like, yeah, you can have it. And then you're like, can I have one too? And
I think, I don't know if anyone's looking for like a big Christmas gift to fucking send to Santa. I'm sure you can still get these, right? I don't think it's just Barracudas are expensive. Like people forget that like that shit is like, even if it feels like a little bit of like a hashtag mensweary, like 1.0 type shit, it's not cheap, but these joints are
$9.50 on Mr. Porter.
Wowzers. But they slap.
Yes. And I've been wearing mine in the fucking cold, just wearing like like Arc'teryx underneath it, or just like a heavy sweater.
If you live somewhere,
it's not a winter coat.
Yeah, no. If you live somewhere and it's like, you know, the coldest it gets is like, I don't know, fucking high 40s, low 50s. Like this is your go-to. I could not recommend it more highly.
They also did the EG, like the faux, like, what is it, leopard or
we also
cheetah?
got those. Yeah.
Just another fucking Jimmy and Larry John that we have to text like, hey, are you wearing this tonight?
Well, we have different patterns on this one.
Yeah, but if we showed up wearing fucking Paisley boys, like, yeah, it would have looked kind of whack.
Helly Hansen hat.
It's the G9.
Yeah, well, that's the Barracuda style that like Steve McQueen wore.
Shout out Bobby Shmurda.
Yeah, Helly Hansen hat.
Helly Hansen hat, which I will single-handedly will Helly Hansen back into relevancy, if I do say so myself.
You think they're irrelevant right now? I feel like they're kind of. I mean, Helly Hansen.
Well, this is Helly Hansen Japan, and I got this like. I mean, it's like North Face, where like whoever owns the Helly Hansen license in Japan is like designing shit that's like Japan only.
Sure.
And it's not like crazy, both price wise or in terms of like, you know, blowing dicks off.
How much was that hat?
I literally bought this like 8 years ago.
Damn, ahead of the curve, man.
Well, I don't throw shit out.
Yeah.
And I think like once
didn't you just like uncover that like a couple weeks ago or something too?
Well, it's like a winter hat. It's like a wool.
We were talking about Helly Hansen with someone on like a work call, and then you were like reminded to get it, right? Or that you had it
with a guest where I don't know if we're behind the paywall yet, so we're not going to give up who it is just yet. It's not Big Boy because we already did him, and it was fucking legendary. And then the panties are Hanes boxers. What about yourself?
I wore
water. It's been a week.
Yeah, fucking no more booze for me, at least until tonight. I wore camion boots to the crib. I had on as well my CP Company barber. A lot of potential jawnz of the year. I can't wait for us to do our little wrap up.